Hello everyone, this is Tyler back with another Jeep video, and today I'm going to go over what I have put into my Jeep, onto my Jeep, and what makes it look like what it looks like today. Starting with the exterior, the first thing most people notice is my 37-inch Toyo Open Country tires. I have them wrapped around 17-inch Hilo rims, and those are actually mounted to 1-ton axles. So this is a 1-ton swap Jeep. The front axle is from an F250 Super Duty. I think it's like 68 inches wide, so the tire does come out quite a bit further than stock, but I do like it. And the rear axle came off of a 2010 Silverado 2500 HD, which is also a full float axle. You can see it down here. I have a truss on this one. I am still running the Rough Country 4-inch lift, but I do have spacers on it to lift it up just a little bit more to clear these tires so I didn't have any rubbing. Running this tire and axle combo on this Jeep would not be possible without the Clayton long arm that I have on this. I have the front and rear Clayton long arm. It has Johnny joints mounted to the frame side and the rubber bushings on the axle side. So this thing rides a lot better than stock actually, and these Rough Country springs are pretty stiff. They are meant to have off-road bumpers and stuff like that on them, but if I had to do it again, I would probably go with Clayton's dual rate coil in the front and maybe another option in the rear. Moving on to exterior lighting, I am running the Spider Halo headlights. They make it a lot brighter than stock because of that little projector pattern they have right here. You put an LED or an HID bulb in there, it is just so much brighter than stock. And for my other lights, I'm running just some Amazon 3-row light bar, and it has the projectors on either side of the light bar, and I also have these side shooter light pods. These brackets are custom made. Some guy, I believe his name is MJ1 Design. You can look him up on Instagram. I'll leave a link for you down below. But it costed about $120 for these brackets to get made. Installation was pretty easily done. They just install underneath the weather stripping. You just drill some holes in there, put some self-tapping screws in there. They go on pretty easily. I get a lot of questions from people around here about what my front bumper is from, and this is actually from a JK Wrangler. I just fabricated a bracket that slid into the hole in the unibody and was able to just bolt straight onto the stock location for the JK bumper, and so I didn't have to mod the front bumper at all. It took a little bit of modding for the unibody. I had to do a little bit of cutting and bending, but it all mounted up pretty easily. It comes off easily, and it is actually strong enough to get pulled from right now from the shackles. What I want to talk about on the exterior is the steering I am running. This is the Barnes high steer kit for the F250 Super Duty axle, and I also got their tubing and heim joint kit from them as well. And so I had to do a little bit of drilling to the axle and a little bit to the pitman arm, but there's no binding if you mount your axle right on it at all. Oh, and also I do have the detachable sway bar on links. Those actually come with the Rough Country lift kit. Moving on to the interior, not a lot was done actually. I did wrap my steering wheel with some paracord here. Thought it was a pretty cool little look. I do have some JK grab handles mounted into the little holes that come on your unibody right here. So when you take off this piece of plastic, you can actually just mount those handles to the little holes in there. Makes it a lot easier to get in your Jeep when it's mounted taller. I do have a phone mount, pretty sturdy. It just mounts behind the bezel on the radio. This is from Quadratech. Just slip your phone right in there, doesn't go anywhere. I wanted something nice and secure for off-roading, something that wouldn't just pop off your windshield or out of your vent. So that's a much better option than some of the competitors. Moving into the back seat, I did nothing really back here other than mount some handles for the passengers to get in and out of the Jeep easier. And also the lighting, I do have some LED lights in the housing for the interior. The old lights are, I think they're halogen, and so they're a lot dimmer, but these lights help brighten up the interior a lot. You can get them in different colors. These are their white lights, so you can see everything in here at night. It's really helpful. This is the V8 4.7 liter Jeep, and so it has a pretty throaty sound to it. I had to cut the exhaust after the third cat. That's because I couldn't fit the Clayton's 4-link into the rear with the stock exhaust setup. So you actually do have to cut that off and remove it so you can fit the triangulated 4-link there. You guys might be wondering how a 1-ton swap Jeep Grand Cherokee drives. And it drives pretty nicely actually. Let's go for a little ride here. say something you do lose when you do axle swap your Jeep is your turning radius. The turning radius is like a bus on this thing. It can still do kind of tight turns, but it's definitely a lot worse than stock. A few more details I should probably include is that this Jeep is actually all stock under the hood. Even the steering gearbox and everything, it all handles these axles fine, has plenty of power for all of that. And I do also have a Tom Woods rear drive shaft. Since the yoke size on the differential is just such a different size than stock, I just needed to make an entire new drive shaft, also for the length, because I did push the axles further back so the tires could clear the body. This is about as far back as I could go with the long arm kit. There's plenty of room there. It doesn't hit, doesn't rub at all. But I did have to get a new drive shaft made for the length and also for the U-joint size because it's so much bigger on these aftermarket axles. This is my Jeep Grand Cherokee. Thank you everyone for watching, and unfortunately this is getting sold today, so I don't believe I'll have any more videos posted about this, but thanks for tuning in. Bye.